Ladies and gentlemen, a new pre-release for Minecraft Java Edition 1.13 has been released. This is pre-release 7 for the update Aquatic. My name is slicedlime. I'm here to show you all of the changes in this version. Let's start with maps. A bunch of changes have been done to maps, including the fact that shulker boxes now show up on maps, and a number of blocks that only used to show up on maps when there was a solid block beneath them now always show up on maps. These include Bruin stands, dyed glass cobblestone walls, trapdoors, fences and fence gates, beacons, daylight sensors, hoppers, slime blocks, and portal frame blocks, cauldrons, and all types of chests. In addition to this, glass panes, and iron bars no longer show up on maps at all. Waterlogged blocks that are fully submerged now show up as water on maps as well. In the previous pre-release there were changes to the text rendering in the game using a true type font. This has been removed from the vanilla resource pack, so vanilla no longer uses the true type font. There are also fixes to a number of characters that looked weird in the new font. I'll show some of the issues and fixes on screen right now. I'm not going to explain them all. Some of the item tooltips that previously had colors had lost the colors, that is fixed in this version, and advancement descriptions are now colored as well. Green for normal advancement and purple for challenges. Let's move on to talking about world changes. A number of world generation fixes in this version: fences, glass panes, iron bars, stairs, and melon and pumpkin stems inside of world structures would generate with invalid block states, fixed in this version. Double blocks was also not loaded in structures. That's anything that's more than one block as a structure, like a door or a bed or tall flowers. That's fixed in this one. Some structure generation could lead to two chests being generated inside of each other or an invisible chest being generated. That's fixed in this one. And red giant mushrooms with 5 blocks would generate with invalid block states, and they would show the wrong faces on the outside of the mushroom. Cave outlines would generate inside of ocean ravines, and inside of flooded caves and trenches there was no water sources near the southwards ceiling. In terms of world options, in the previous pre-release it was impossible to write in the box for super flat preset options. That's fixed in this one. And the void preset would not generate its starting platform. That platform generates in this pre-release. If you tried to recreate a world that was created in a future version, that wouldn't show a warning and it could crash the game. That's fixed in this one. And some upgrade fixes as well. If you upgraded world from 1.12.2 into 1.13 pre-releases, then the performance inside of that world would be pretty bad. That's fixed in this version. If you open a world from 1.5.2, then beds would become transparent. That's fixed in this version. And converting 1.12 worlds to 1.13 would spam an error message to the log file saying chunk file at some coordinates is missing level data, skipping. Also, when you got asked whether you wanted to convert your world to a newer version, when you pressed to play the world, then hitting escape would not select the cancel option, but rather the I know what I'm doing, please upgrade my world option. Let's talk about gameplay fixes. All waterlogged blocks now display the drip animation. Waterlogged blocks also didn't decrease the light level like normal water does, and when their block state changed to change the water they let through, that did not remove the water that they had spread. If water flowed onto waterlogged blocks, then it would spread outward rather than stopping, and waterlogged blocks that are not full blocks would trigger auto jump even if auto jump was disabled. More water stuff. If you were inside of water but 5 or more blocks from a water source, then you would be unable to climb a 1 block high jump. When swimming, the swimming animation would be bugged when your head was not underwater, and you could get X-ray vision while swimming as well. Both of those fixed in this version. If you swam up to a block and touched it, you'd take suffocation damage. That's also fixed in this version. And the statistic for the distance swum would use the old swimming, like bobbing on top of water, instead of the new swimming animation. In terms of world features, if you used an Eye of Ender to locate a stronghold, then it could lead you to an invalid location, and the same was true for finding a stronghold with the /locate command. Cartographers would not unlock Woodland Mansion map trades properly. Couple of redstone things. Redstone dust would not update the shape of connecting redstone dust when connecting up onto transparent blocks. And sticky pistons would pull blocks that are not supposed to be pullable and have them pop off if they would pop off when pushed. A couple of visual things too, there were no particles when a bed explodes in another, and if you got your player's head inside a block, then you would no longer see the block that you are inside of like you did in previous versions, and that is back in this one. Sound fixes. An ancient sound bug fixed in this version. This bug has been in the game for more than 5 years. Minecarts, when loading into a world, would sometimes play a sound, and that is fixed in this one. Also, pufferfish didn't play the pufferfish sting sound when damaging mobs. In the previous pre-release, a new shortcut button for the debug screen was added, F3 and I. That would copy the data for the block or entity that you are looking at into the clipboard, but it would only copy the client-side data, so a bunch of data would be missing. That is fixed in this version. It now copies all of the data for that entity, and you can use Shift and F3 and I to copy client-side only data. Some command fixes as well. Command autocomplete would override command history navigation. That's fixed in this one. Item rarity color would override the first text components color if you made a custom item with color in the held tooltip. And selector wildcards didn't work in scoreboard operations. And for scoreboards, you are unable to update the scoreboard objective names. A number of stability fixes as well. Crashes fixes in this version, so it should be more stable than the previous one, and that also includes a number of memory leaks. If you want to try this version out, head into your Minecraft launcher, go to the Launch Options tab and enable snapshots. Read the message you get and click OK. Now head back to the News tab, where you should have a latest snapshot option in the drop-down box next to the play button. Select that and start the game, and you will be playing the latest pre-release or snapshot version, which is currently this one, Minecraft 1.13 pre-release 7. Do keep in mind that pre-releases are less tested than normal releases, can contain unknown bugs, so if you test it, do so on a separate test world, or make sure you have a backup. That was all from me for this time. My name is slicedlime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.